so for this week we're going to talk about all about crystals. So we're going to talk about what crystal healing is, how to charge your crystals, and how to cleanse them.
Yes, we're really excited for this video because crystals are something that Gabrielle and I are super passionate about.
Yes.
One of the first things we kind of like really dived into when we really seriously got into our like spiritual journey. So it was something that aided us through it. So we're really excited to share you guys and put you guys on if you don't know about crystals. And if you do, then this will just be a fun little cute conversation.
I personally got into crystals, I would say like, what, 3 years ago? Because I've always had like a love for rocks and crystals because my brother was like a rock collector. But like I never knew like the healing properties behind crystals and certain rocks and stuff like that. So when I learned about the healing properties behind these rocks, I was like, mind blown. I already have such a love for them, and now you're telling me that they have healing properties?
Yeah.
Like, what? Are you kidding me? There's so many different like crystals out there with so many different properties for different things. So whether that's money or love or any of those like topics. So without further ado, let's get into this week's video.
Darling, you send me. Darling, you send me. I know you send me. Darling, you send me.
So first, we're going to talk about what is crystal healing. I'm sure you guys have probably heard about the crystal healing and the hoopla behind it, and you're probably really confused. Like, how do these rocks help provide healing? So basically, crystal healing is the technique of taking crystals or gemstones and using them and their energies to help raise your vibrations or increase your manifestations. Crystal healing has been something that has been used for centuries, like
so long,
centuries,
way back,
all the way from the ancient Egyptians who would incorporate them into their jewelry pieces and their crowns and all that sort of stuff, all the way to the ancient Greeks, all the way until now. So everything in life carries energy. And even if you study the rock process in elementary school, you know how long the process is of creating rocks. And if you think about it, it turning in the Earth's core and that entire process, like that's just literally formulating energy from the Earth. So it's like, how could you not think that this rock would carry such high vibrations? So pretty much how it works is all of these crystals carry their own vibrations, and what they do is once they're met with other energies, such as us, for example, holding the crystal, it will raise your vibrations to match its energies. So say I'm feeling low and this crystal carries high energy. By holding that crystal, it will start to bring my energy to match the crystal's energy.
So yeah, tapping off of what Snow has just said, you can use these crystals and these gemstones, wherever that might be, to help with spiritual healing, whether that's healing your inner child or healing your ego or healing your self-love or love with others, relationships. There's so many different things out there, different crystals out there for different spiritual healing or different ways of healing.
So next thing we're going to talk about is cleansing. Cleansing is a very key critical part to caring for your crystals.
And the first step too.
Yes,
the
very first step.
So when you buy a crystal, the first thing you need to do is cleanse it.
So cleansing is basically just literally, as it said, cleansing it of the energies and the vibrations that your crystal carries. So like Gabriella says, when you first buy your crystal, that's the first thing that you want to do, because if you think about it, these crystals carry energies, and if they're trying to raise the energies, they're also carrying the energies from which they've been passed on. So when the crystal's in a store or it's being shipped and stuff like that, it's coming in contact with so many different people. It's being handled.
Whether that's an in-store thing, people are like, ooh, this is a pretty crystal, and like touching it. So there's all these different people's energies on it. So you don't know what type of energies are attached to this crystal. So that's why it's extremely important to cleanse your crystal when you buy it.
That's the first thing that you definitely want to do, just to give, almost like giving your crystal a blank slate. That's pretty much what the purpose is of cleansing your crystal. So there's lots of different ways to go about with cleansing your crystals. You can choose whichever way best suits you or your lifestyle or your crystal's lifestyle. One of the ways to cleanse your crystal is under the sunlight. So basically just setting your crystal out in the sun, maybe on the porch or by your windowsill or just literally in the grass while you're chilling, and just basically using the sun's energy to just bask and give your crystal a little sun bath.
The way you would suntan, your crystal will need a little suntan.
And it's just absorbing the sun's energy, just in the way that you just feel rejuvenated when laying and basking in the sun. Your crystal's going to absorb that sort of energy as well.
The second way of cleansing our crystal is under the moonlight. So the moon is a very strong planet to charge your crystals, specifically during like a new moon or a full moon. So just following the moon moon cycle is a really good way of cleansing your crystal. So again, whether that's putting it outside during a full moon or a new moon, or putting it on your windowsill, it's like the same way that with the sunlight, but just the opposite of it being the moon. Specifically during new moons, because new moons are really good for making intentions and stuff like that. So I really like cleansing crystals or charging my crystal during a new moon.
Another way to go about with cleansing your crystals is under the earth. So what we mean by this is basically just submerging your crystal into soil. Basically just getting it back to the roots of where the crystal was formulated from.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So sometimes like it can be like burying it inside your garden, or sometimes I'll tuck mine inside a potted plant and then just like dig it up afterwards.
Especially because Snow has a bunch of plants. She loves her plants. So if you're like a big plant, like mom or dad, like maybe this will be a good way that you would love to cleanse your crystal.
Yes. Plus your plants love it. So
exactly.
It's like
it's a win-win.
It's a mutual thing.
It's a win-win situation.
Yes.
Another way to cleanse your crystal is underwater. So preferably under like natural water, whether that's like a stream or a waterfall or the lake or something like that. Or you can use the tap water or filtered water if you need be. But yeah, it's preferred to use like water straight.
Yeah.
That's like natural, not like there's like stuff in it, you know, like chemicals or whatever that might be inside the water.
Another way to cleanse your crystals is under smoke. So if you're a kind of person who's like really into incense, just taking your incense and just kind of like running your crystal through the incense, kind of waving it through the smoke and using that as a way to, or as well as I know some people who run it through their essential diffuser smoke as well. And even better would be to use an essential oil that would go along with your intention, like lavender. Like those are like really good essential oils to use for sure.
The last example that we have to cleanse your crystal is through sound. So whether that's through a high frequency or a singing bowl or a chanting bell, any of these things are really good for your crystal as well.
And this one's just like a super easy way. Like I feel like if you're a person who has lots of like an abundance of crystals and it can kind of feel overwhelming to go about and do one individual thing for each crystal, it's a lot easier to just like, you can find these videos on YouTube, just like cleansing videos, high frequency videos, and just play it and just have it play out loud, and that will go about with just cleansing your crystals.
Yeah, that's a really good way. All of these 6, they're all super good for your crystals. Like none are better than any of the other, but like it just depends on your lifestyle, because some people are more in tune with nature or earth when they like the soil, they love plants, or water, they're really water babies and they just love baths or swimming and stuff like that. So it really just depends on the type of person you are and the type of lifestyle that you live, and kind of like what makes you feel really energized. So just kind of go off what you feel charged as a person, what makes you feel charged.
And that's why I feel crystal healing is such a big part of your spiritual journey, because it really is relying on your intuition and what it is that you feel called to do to use with your crystal.
It's a personal journey. Like everyone's spiritual journey is completely different and completely unique, and that's why you can't compare your spiritual journey to someone else's spiritual journey. Everyone does everything so differently, so it's up to your jurisdiction.
For sure. And also, disclaimer, when you first get your crystal, you really want to make sure that you're doing research on your crystal and knowing the different properties of your crystal, because different crystals will have different needs. Some crystals are not water safe and they will start to deteriorate inside the water.
Yeah. Or sun safe. Like some will literally fade over time if you just place it in the sun. So but some won't. So it really just depends on your crystal and knowing your crystal and doing the research.
So making sure that you're doing something that goes with what works best for you, but also works best for your crystal.
Exactly.
Make sure you're taking that into account. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is charging your crystals. Now this is also very vital and very key to your crystal care and to your usage of your crystals. So charging your crystals allows you to put the energy back into the crystals that would start to deteriorate over time.
Because as humans, if you think about it, sometimes we have a lot of low energy. We have a lot of negative energy or low energy, and that's just how us humans are, right? We have good days and we have bad days. So if you think about it, sometimes when you're working with your crystals and trying to set intention, your negative or low energies, you know, your crystal feels those vibrations, feels those intentions, feels those energies. So it's really important over time to charge your crystal to raise its vibrations.
So charging is basically just like how you charge a device, giving it battery power again. It helps it work for longer extended periods of time at a higher frequency.
It's also really important for setting intentions.
So setting an intention. So all of these crystals, like we talked about, have different energies, and the different crystals will work best for manifesting different things. For example, say rose quartz. Rose quartz is one of Gabriella's favorite crystals.
I love rose quartz.
That's a good crystal. Like a lot of people call it the love crystal. So say that you had recently gone through a very bad heartache and you're trying to work on manifesting self-love. So what you want to do is you want to set an intention for your crystal to rid yourself of that heartache and start to welcome in more self-love. Now, if you want to do that, you can't just start picking up your crystal and be like, I want to have self-love now. You know what I mean?
Right.
You want to set an intention for that crystal and charge it with the intention of self-love. So basically, charging is giving your crystal energy, but also giving it a program. Here's another tip to charge your crystals again with the moon cycles. Yeah. This is just something that Gabriella and I just love to do, which is charging and cleansing our crystals with the moon cycles. Like Gabriella talked about, with the new moon being a really great time to set intentions, that's a really great time to go about with charging your crystal. So I would charge my crystal with the new moon, and then to cleanse it with the full moon, because that's a good time to release.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you can really do whatever it is that you want or whatever you feel called to, but charging with an intention at a new moon, when you're already setting all your manifestations, you might as well just,
yeah, it's a really good time to just charge. Yeah.
So to reiterate, the difference between cleansing and charging: cleansing is giving your crystal a clean slate, whereas charging is setting the new intention for your crystal and charging it with the energy that it needs.
You can always re-cleanse your crystal, right? If you need that restart, or you feel that some people have come into your room, say, and they've been touching your, because some people don't know that you should be touching other people's crystals or gemstones, whatever they might be, and they just come and they want to touch, right?
Because they think it's pretty.
Yeah,
they're curious.
Exactly. So sometimes, again, the same way that we said with the whole store thing, you don't know what type of energies and vibrations people have that are going on. You don't know what's going on in their life. So it's really important that sometimes you need to re-cleanse. You're never going to only cleanse your crystals once. It's going to be something that you do throughout time, right? Same thing with charging. You're going to always be setting different intentions, or raising the vibrations. You're going to consistently need to do this.
You want to be cleansing your crystal at the very least, at least once a month.
All right, so now we also have 6 ways to charge your crystal. So the first way that you can charge your crystal is with salt. So you can literally just grab your crystal, grab your salt, put your crystal straight into the salt. However, if your crystal is not salt safe, because remember, we're doing the research and we're making sure that however we're cleansing or charging our crystal, that it's safe for the crystal. So some crystals are not safe to put into salt. So if you want to really charge it with salt, you can get put it in a container, whether that's a glass or a bag or something like that, and then put that into the salt.
Another way to charge your crystals is by using other crystals. So another very powerful crystal would be selenite. So if you start to take the crystal, say you have a crystal called rose, like we talked about previously, rose quartz, and you want to charge that crystal, put it beside selenite, and selenite's powers and its properties will start to charge your rose quartz and really amplify the energy of your intention.
So the next way to charge your crystal is with a candle flame. So simply just grabbing a candle and then putting the crystal inches above the flame. So obviously you don't want to put it in the flame, because you're gonna wreck your crystal that way.
And fire safety.
Yeah, exactly. So put your flame here and then putting the crystal up here, and it's a really good way of charging that crystal.
Just absorbing the heat. And if you're a kind of person who's say if you're into astrology and you're fire dominant, this is a really nice way to connect to your fire element. So another way to go about charging your crystals is through visualization. Now, if you are someone who doesn't really have access to lots of tools or to all these other things, then visualization might be up your alley. So basically you just want to hold your crystal, and you want to close your eyes, and you want to visualize a bright light coming in and starting to fill and swirl around in your crystal, and filling it with energy and charging and amplifying it with your intention. Now, this is a really good one for building a strong connection and relationship with your crystal, because it's really just charging it with your own higher self's energy.
Another way to charge your crystal is through rainwater or snow. So just using precipitation as a way of charging your crystal. You can even grab snow, put it in your palms, and then put the crystal inside with it, and just let it do its thing, let it melt into your hand. Or even rainwater, we were talking about water as a good way of cleansing. It's also a really good way of charging. So using the rainwater, again, this is natural water. This is coming straight from the sky. This is as most natural as you can get. So just going outside when it's raining, if you're up to it.
Okay, so another way to charge your crystal, this is another mental one, is through breathing, actually. Through meditation. So what you want to do is, again, hold your crystal, and you want to meditate and just breathe new air into your crystal, breathing new life into your crystal.
Breathing, doing your inhaling and exhaling. This is really good for people that love meditation. If you're you meditate every day, or just meditation is really part of your daily routine or your spiritual practice again, this is completely up your alley.
So those are just 6 quick methods that you can use to charge your crystals, as well as the methods that we mentioned previously for cleansing your crystals. You can also use those exact same methods to charge your crystals as well. Yeah. Remember, it really is just a difference of intention between the two.
Exactly.
So if you find that the methods that you used before for cleansing your crystals work best for you, you can also use those to charge your crystals. Again, remember about researching your crystals and making sure that you also do not only what's best for you, but what's also best for your crystals. Oh, also, we forgot to mention, this is probably a big question that a lot of people ask us, is where do you get your crystals? Yes. So you can get your crystals from your local metaphysical store. So if you literally just type into Google metaphysical stores near me, that's where you can get them. Or also, like we talked about, you can get them online. But as Gabriella said,
be careful. Be careful, because some places will pose that they're real and they're actually not. One of our favorite places online to get crystals is Crystal Vibes on Instagram. We'll put her at right here. She does like online auctions and stuff like that, and I think she's a really spiritual person as well. So yeah, we fully trust her, and like she always gets new shipments in. And
it's a local business, so you should
support local businesses. So with that being said, this concludes this week's video, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up.
And once you give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe. And once they're subscribed, Gabriella, tell them what they're gonna do.
Obviously, you're gonna hit the bell so you're notified every time we post a new video, because you don't want to miss another video with us. We're coming out with this consistent content, the spiritual content, astrology content, lifestyle, random videos. So make sure you guys hit the bell and you're notified. And also make sure that you follow our @astrology.t Instagram page, and also turn on the bell for that so you're notified when we post new posts, because our posts go a lot hand in hand with our videos. We did a whole post on what crystal healing is. So everything that we can mention in this video, we also put as a post on that Instagram. So if you want to go check out the post as well, so you can have an actual physical copy of it, and so you can bookmark it. Yeah. So it's a really good way to have it saved. Exactly. It's a really good way of having your study notes if you need to refer back to something instead of having to go into YouTube and go back to the specific spot. Yeah, so head over to our Instagram if you haven't already. Make sure you follow, click the bell. All right, so with that being said, we'll see you guys in our next video.
Bye guys.
Darling, you